Okay, so here's a question for Leva Brown.
So, just not to confuse anyone, I know it looks like an L, but it's actually an I in front of Eva, because it is Latvian. And in Latvian, pronounce it as Eva, but you can call me Eva because it makes it much more easier. So, a little backstory about the Great Tribulation and the go bags, specifically what Jehovah's Witnesses believe that means for them. So, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that before Armageddon comes, there will be such a thing as Great Tribulation. And that is the time they believe that the world leaders, and specifically the United Nations, are going to decide to get rid of all religions. I don't know how they think that's going to happen, but all religions, including Jehovah's Witnesses, but they will start with the mainstream religions. And they believe that once those religions are done away with, they will turn their attention to Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, the basis for this belief is the prophecies from the books of Ezekiel, books of Daniel, and a few others, where it's talking about the Gog of Magog. And they believe the Gog of Magog is Satan, and will be using the United Nations to attack the governing body. And they believe the governing body is the brothers of Christ, so attacking them would be like attacking Jesus himself. So in their publications and in their videos, especially at conventions, they will show things like what they think will happen at Great Tribulation. And the main issue is that Jehovah's Witnesses do worry about the Great Tribulation, probably more as an individual, because they are told that they will be attacked, that people might want to hurt them. There's various videos at the conventions where they're showing a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses hiding in the basement, and then armed people come in to get them. And then the belief is that just before they get killed, shot, that Jesus is actually going to intervene and kickstart Armageddon. And that is when the publications show the artwork with the hailstones and the fire, killing off all the people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses, and Jehovah's Witnesses walk out unscathed, marching off into the new world, where somehow all of the billions of bodies of those that Jesus is going to kill is going to somehow disappear, and they will build their new paradise on top. So the go bags, it was probably around 15 to 20 years ago where it was started being mentioned at the meetings, especially after the 9/11. So what they said, we needed to make go bags, so like maybe a large rucksack where we would need to keep important documents there, our passports, and then other things like flashlights, batteries, wound up radios, torches, high calorie meal replacement bars, and water. Obviously, for those who are parents, they had to think about things like nappies and formula milk, etc. And obviously, as time went on, you'd have to keep updating what you put in your go bag because things would go out of date. And I probably assume they're still doing that. It died off a little bit in the way of announcements, but every now and then there would be a reminder about the go bags. I'm not sure what they're called in other countries, but in UK they call them the go bags. And that's basically for when Jehovah's Witnesses believe the Great Tribulation starts and they have to leave their homes and just grab the go bag and go, because they think that people are going to turn against them. So that's the persecution complex, which is another reason people in the witness organisation probably look down on the non-witness population because they are brainwashed to believe that those people are going to attack them at the Great Tribulation and try and kill them. So obviously straight away it creates an atmosphere of fear. You become afraid of other people. So that is why a lot of witnesses, when they leave the homes, when they knock in the preaching work, and if someone's nasty, they often will walk away and talk amongst themselves, wishing that the Armageddon comes sooner, and they rejoice that this nasty person is going to get destroyed by God. So very much a us versus them mentality. So just to mention that the prophecies they use for these explanations and beliefs, they do publish them in books which aren't usually available for general public. So books on the Daniel prophecies, there's books on Armageddon, Book of Revelation. I'm pretty sure there's more things these days. So if anybody wanted to actually look this up and also look up the artwork they use or the videos they use, probably can try the jw.org website or the Watchtower Online Library, which is their official site for all the publications, although I'm pretty sure that they do remove the very old publications that expose how they actually started and what they believed in the beginning, that a lot of new witnesses don't even know about. I certainly didn't. So any more questions, feel free to ask about the go bags and the Great Tribulation. I know I'm trying to put a bit of humour into it, but if you think about it, it's actually really, really horrendous what they believe in and how it affects people's mental health. Because when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I was absolutely terrified of the Great Tribulation, even Armageddon, because no matter what we did, there was always that implication, well, am I going to be good enough to be saved? So yes, if you have any more questions about the more nitty-gritty beliefs of Jehovah's Witnesses, which, like I said, can be looked up in the Watchtower Online Library via jw.org. I can put a link in if anybody wants to see, but it's pretty depressing read and it really, really can mess with your mental health. So I hope that helps.